Let's get Paul on the Jeremy Kyle show that way. How old were you there, buddy?
About 5, 6, not long after.
Around when it happened.
When I was 5, when that happened, it was obviously I got left with a person who my family trust at the time. And then when he took me into my mum's bedroom and undressed me, I was felt petrified.
Yeah, my name's Paul Remmer and I'm from North Yorkshire, and I am purely pro and UK/UP pro, and fitness is my life and saved my life basically. I got abused when I was 5 years old, and I'm just trying to get a message out that do not be ashamed to come forward, that people will believe you if you go to somebody, if you go to the police for anything, that people will believe you. You're not going to not be believed, which is what I always thought, that not by coming forward, it would nobody would believe me. I knew from the start that what he did to me on that very day, when I went away from the incident, I knew that wasn't right, and but I just blocked everything away up until I was 19 years old when I told my wife, and then from there she helped me get through my dark days. But then when I was 35 years old, I decided to take it further and go to the police. Yeah, when I went to the police, the police officer came around, took a statement, and then within literally an hour, the investigation team and everything came around, and because the guy that actually did what he did to me was already in prison for raping a 14-year-old girl. And he's serving a 10-year sentence for that. So they believed me straight away, but there wasn't enough evidence for it to go to court. But I'm not saying, luckily for me, somebody else came forward 2 years later, and it was another male, because they said to me if another male came forward, they would take it even further and open my case again. So they opened my case again 2 years later, and literally on the 6th of October 2015, he admitted to doing everything what he did to me. Because I had lots of counselling for 2 or 3 years, and they helped me talk about it, and not knowing that I used to always blame myself why he did what he did, and they say that that's what normal victims do. They always blame themselves, you know. So I didn't deal with that very well. So I had counselling for 2 to 3 years, and they got me through like the probably darkest days of my life. And then from me speaking to them, I was easily to talk to lots of friends and family, and I opened up more about it, and I just wanted to take it even further. So I contacted the Jeremy Kyle show to try and get the message out again, you know, so other people could get the help that I had. There's an organisation called Manchester Survivors, which are really good, and Arch, they're for like male victims and things, so they're a big part of my life. You hear it a lot now about mental health and suicide, and it's not a laughing matter. You need to take it a lot seriously than what people think. Years ago, I used to always think that somebody like with suicidal thoughts, or if they were going to take their whole life, was selfish. But nobody knows the reason why people do things like this, or if they're ever in control of something like that. When I tried to commit suicide, I didn't even know that I was actually doing what I was doing. And they used a name for it, but I can't remember what it's called. But when I went to the mental health team, they said what it was called. You kind of just go into this place, and then luckily for me, my phone was ringing in my pocket, when I was about to do what I was doing, and it was my wife on the phone. So then I had to make excuses. I came round, and it's basically saved my life. But I would say, you know, like I say, the help out there is to speak to people, and there is help out there. Yeah, the night terrors. Unfortunately, I still do get the night terrors. Not as often as I did, but they are literally reliving the whole incident. I kind of deal with it as it is now. I know when sometimes it's going to happen. But my worst ever incident was when I put the pillow over my wife's head and suffocated her, because I thought it was my actual abuser that was. But she's so supportive, and you know, she's really strong, so she managed to get me off, and you know, nothing really bad. And that's when I decided to go to the police and everything, and you know, do what I do, open up, talk about it. Me holding it in it's not good, because the more you hold it in, the more I speak about it, the better it is for me. Don't ever be afraid to speak to a family member or a really good friend, a best friend. I had never told any of my friends up until 5-6 years ago, and they're mortified, they're absolutely gutted that I never told them. And you know, I was so frightened to tell them, and they wouldn't believe me. But my friends and family have been absolute amazing support. I would say definitely contact the police, or there's the Manchester Survivors. It's the only one I know like around, but they've just helped, you know, Coronation Street and Hollyoaks at the moment. They're big parts of the organisation with that, so they will get you to if you're in London, or if they will put you into the right people. My life now is, I never thought I would be where I am now from not telling my friends and family. The worst thing that I had to do was tell my mum. You know, that was the hardest thing ever. But now, my mum knows, she's like so supportive. Friends, family, they know if I'm having a down day or a dark day, if I'm ever snappy. Even my work colleagues, they all know, my boss and everything. So if you're ever feeling like I feel, they're just all understanding. Everybody's like by me. If I never told them before, they'd be kind of like, oh God, you know, what's wrong or something, because you're holding it in. I've got lots of tattoos. I've got some terrible tattoos that I was young and stupid. When I was 14 years old, I'd just go to the tattoos and used to have like numbers on the board and say, oh, I want that one. But now I've started getting tattoos removed, and I've been putting other tattoos on top, which mean the world to me, which is the Justice, and it's got the 06 of the 10th, 2015, which is the day that he admitted to abusing me and raping me. And then I've got my granddad, absolute legend. And then it's my wife's name, my wife's initial on my wedding finger, because I've lost 2 wedding rings. So I've got a C on my finger now. And then Survivor, which is absolutely means the world to me as well. And Lady Justice for going through. And then I've got my best mate's names tattooed on me, which are their initials in the alphabet. And then some of them are just like cover-ups, and my grandparents and my son's name. My fitness journey now started 3 years ago when I had spinal surgery coming up 4 years ago now, and I was doing a transformation picture. So I started training hard for that, and then did really well. So my picture, the transformation picture, said, why did you go for the competition? So I decided to jump on stage with it literally in the week before. I jumped on stage and I qualified for the British finals. And then I didn't do too good in the final, but I felt like I should have been placed better. So I made it up for myself to say, right, I'm going to come back next year and I'm going to do better. So, and plus basically the fitness is the way that I deal with my mental health and my thoughts. Having structure in the life of prepping meals, getting up early in the morning to do the workouts. I have like a set routine. Yeah, fitness or competing, fitness, exercising, going for long walks, just doing something for yourself. is what I always say. You always feel better that you're doing something for yourself. I know people get up in the morning and think they're tired, but if you just go for like a 20-minute walk and come back and you think, boom, you feel great about yourself, that you feel alive again. And just I've got some big goals that I want to do next year. This year was a massive high for me because I won the World Ultimate Physiques in May at Body Power, which is an absolutely amazing achievement. That was the federation that I competed with when I didn't place, and I said I wanted to come back and win. So now I have a pro card with them, and I won the finals last year, and then I won the Ultimate Physiques World back in May. And I compete in 5 weeks' time, which was a massive challenge that I set myself in, which is the World Championships for Pure Elite, which I'm dead excited about. And I've just been nominated for an award for the most inspirational, which was, I'd sooner take the most inspirational award than winning at the Pure Elite itself, because it's so means so much to me that. But next year I'm going to go for, because now I'm 40 and I'm getting on, is do the UK BFF qualify for the Arnold Classic. Bigger guys, but it's something that if I set myself a goal, then that's what I'll do. So I met my current coach, Charlie Garforth, who is now not just only my coach, a very close friend, and is just a real all-round top guy. Back 3 years ago, I used Charlie as my posing coach for my first show, and then we got closer and closer, and I asked him to be my prep coach, and he also got me to believe in myself that I can go this far, not just as a transformation, but take it to the next level where I wanted it to be. So through all the posing coaching and the whole preps and everything that we went through, going to photo shoots that he takes me on and everything, it gives me this belief that I am not just a number competition, that I can go on to win, which we have done. I've won like 6 competitions and second places, and now we've got 2 pro cards, and I just never thought that I would be on this road or this journey that I am on now. And I do thank Charlie a lot through this, because he's just a really good coach and top guy and top friend as well. Emma Kirk, she's Dr. Emma Kirk, she's called. She was in a car crash, she had breast cancer, she died on the like 2 or 3 times when she was there. She's had spinal all built and everything, and she's just an absolute legend.